Alright, what's going on, big dogs? SG Leo here, and in today's video we're going to be going over the new Lost Ark roadmap for June and July, so stick around and find out everything you need to know about what's upcoming in the game. Alright guys, welcome back. Like I said, we're going to be going over the roadmap for June and July. There's a lot of content here to unpack, there's a lot of things that they're going to be adding, and they're breaking down why they're adding, what they're adding, and just kind of giving us more of an inside look on why they're adding, what they're adding, and the timing of it and all, which is a nice little insight. So let's dig into this. So, Heroes of Arcasia. Members of our team joined Smilegate RPG in South Korea last week to look up the roadmap, improve tools and progress and processes, fight the war on bots together, and more as we can continue our collaboration. Coming out of those meetings, we have a few topics we'd like to discuss before sharing a sneak peek at the June and July roadmap. So basically, if you read the rest of this, they kind of went to South Korea where Smilegate is located, and they basically said, okay, what classes are getting reworked soon? How do they feel over here? What classes are more popular in the West? What classes and events should be released next? So they went and tested a bunch of things, got a feel for the game and what's going on, because you do have to remember Lost Ark was first launched in Korea in 2019, as they say here, and it's only been out in the West for 3.5 months. So there's a lot of content out West that we don't even have access to yet, or out East, I should say, that we in the West don't even have yet. So they've been doing a lot more testing over there, which is a good sign. It shows that they care what they release next and that they're paying attention to what the people out West are actually enjoying, right? So they go on and say that they are planning on releasing a new advanced class every 2 months for the rest of 2022. So basically, we just got the Destroyer about a month back, so we're going to get another class here within the next month, and then 2 months after that, we're going to get another advanced class. For those of you who don't know, advanced classes are just the specialties within each major class. So the Warrior has like Paladin, Destroyer, Berserker, right? And we'll get to the new one coming out. So it's a really good update, and it looks like, or not a really good update, this is a really good roadmap so far. I've already read through all this, and it's really, really good on what they're doing. So basically their plan is up here, if you read, they're having a steady flow of content releases that include advanced classes during Lost Ark's first year in the West, will support the long-term health of the game, which is true, right? The whole purpose of Lost Ark and how the game actually plays out is you kind of want to do all the main quests and side quests or whatever on all the continents, and then once you're at the very end game, that is where all like the game really comes alive, and that is where the game is its most fun, right? So they're looking more at that perspective of the game. I wouldn't say, or I don't believe that they're going to be adding in a lot of like early game stuff, because most of the early game kind of just says, get out of here, get to the end game, get to those dungeons, go just be this unstoppable warrior, right? That is the whole purpose of the game, right? So they go on and say, like, they look at a variety of factors when looking at which advanced classes to release at a specific time, such as planned balance updates, reworks, relevance of the abilities and playstyles and other content, community feedback, and more, right? So it goes on and says that the reason they go on and say that they actually released the Glavier before the Destroyer because of how they were releasing content, right? So they wanted to release the Destroyer around the Vault and Legion raid, right? Because he has massive stagger damage, and that's really, really helpful in endgame activities. However, releasing Destroyer shortly before a planned rework wouldn't be a great experience. So that's why they pulled forward the Glavier advanced class into its place and released the Destroyer alongside the Vulcan, right? So they're to break it down and put it in simple terms, is they're looking at what they're going to be putting out and what classes are best going to suit not only the play styles and the kind of the quote-unquote meta over here in the West, but they're also making sure that what they're releasing can also help in this endgame content that they're releasing, right? All the new raids, all the new dungeons. They want to make sure that what they're releasing is still going to be viable in those dungeons and raids and hardcore endgame trials, right? They want to release things accurately so that it seamlessly like slides into the game like it's always been there, right? That's how you want things to be. You don't want to just throw something in there and it be really trash or really overpowered and that's all anybody wants to run, because that's not good for the game, right? That's not good for the longevity of a game. So they're doing a really, really good job of just making sure that everything is sliding into place smoothly, and that adding in advanced classes throughout the year without revealing which one, right? They're not putting out a roadmap for each one. They're going to say, this is the one we're going to release, and then probably 2 months from now, like a week or two before they release the next advanced class, is when they'll tell us what the class is going to be, because they need to constantly be looking at the shifting of the meta, what everyone's playing, what fans really want in the game, things like that. So I like how they're going at the release of advanced classes. It's really, really good, and it really shows that they're putting a lot of time and effort into what classes come out and into the community itself. So it's really good. So this is Amazon talking. You have to remember that Smilegate kind of handles everything over in South Korea, even though they're collaborated now. This is a lot of this is done by Amazon here in the West. So keep that in mind. So that's why they're saying like since launch, right? Because this is Amazon talking. So like they said, they've promised to be as transparent as possible, which is really good, and they have been so far. Lost Ark has a colossal amount of content systems, which is super true. When they work with Smilegate RPG to compile game builds, blending content that released years ago in Korea with newer content like QOL updates and balance changes, things get complicated very quickly. So again, Smilegate released this game back in 2019. Amazon kind of got the rights to the game now. I believe they bought out Smilegate. Correct me if I'm wrong down below. But basically they're saying that they're having trouble right now taking all this content that's already been released out east and in Korea and Russia and figuring out solid times to release it with quality of life changes or bug fixes and things like that. It's a massive, massive game with lots of things that still need to be added in and tweaked and stuff for over here in the West. So, because at the end of the day, it's an MMORPG, right? There's going to be bugs, there's going to be quality of life issues, things like that. So they're trying to stay on top of everything, and with already having so much released out east and everybody over here being like, we want it, it's really tough for them to do everything at once. So I'm glad that they're releasing like roadmaps and at least acknowledging that they hear what we're saying, but they do have to release things at certain time intervals throughout the year, so that way people don't just leave, right? They can't lose their audience and the people who are paying for skins or for the crystal auras and stuff like that, because then the game just dies, right? If they don't make any money, the game just dies off. They're not going to fund it, and it's just going to be a bug-filled mess, right? So they're at least saying, like, hey, we understand that there's bugs and quality of life changes that need to be updated, but we have other things that we're going to do. We're going to try and slip these in and fix as much of them as we can as we release these updates. Here's the roadmap, right? That's basically what they're doing. So now here is the actual roadmap. So coming in June, this is really big. Obviously, your basic new islands, store updates, events, bug fixes, and more. They're going to get a free Pyunka Power Pass this summer, which is super nice. And then they're adding in a new Legion raid, Vicus, Normal, and Hard, which is really nice. It's just going to be the second Legion raid available. They're difficult team-based activities. You guys already know what that is, but she is going to be the first one. You'll need to be at least item level 430 for the normal mode, and for hard mode, you need to be at least 460. So another really tough raid, which is really nice. Again, they're just adding in more content for you hardcore end gamers. Then we got a new Guardian raid. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. So this is really cool. Again, he will be available for players to challenge once they reach item level 460 or higher. You can attempt to vanquish alone or with a party. Again, just basic Guardian raids, right? So it's nice. Again, adding in more content. There's probably going to be some new loot, some new drops, things like that. So very, very nice. Then we have another tower, basically. So it's a new single-player dungeon experience in a twisted dimension with 50 levels. Once you enter a floor, you'll have a limited amount of time to clear it before moving to the next, or failing and needing to retry. While similar to Shadowspire and Fatespire solo dungeons, Thronespire has a few key differences. In Thronespire, you'll battle until overwhelmed, working to defeat as many floors and enemies as possible before you meet your match and succumb to the demon legions. Completing the first 25 floors grant first-time clear rewards. You'll earn all rewards for the floors you conquer. So keep that in mind. Every floor you complete, you will be getting rewards for that up to level 25, right? After you hit 25, so this is like 26 and up, the other 25 floors are focused on prestige and completion time. So you're just basically going to be trying to get through them as fast as possible, proving you have the solo skills it takes to conquer anything the Demon Legion throws your way. Players need to be at least item level 1325 to participate. So tier 3 stuff. So we have a new store for cosmetics. So basically, if you read this over here, basically it is like, if you have skins that you don't like, right? Like if you have skins you don't like, you can trade them in. You can break them down as cloth, and then you can use this cloth to re-roll and get different skins, right? Get better skins if that's what you're into. No worries if you like an older skin more than the looks of your new legendary skin, one with bigger bonuses, you can overlay the skin you like over the legendary skin. So I believe what they're going to be doing here, from what I picked up reading this, is, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what it sounds like to me, is, you know how in Guild Wars 2, once you unlock a skin, you can have any piece of armor look like that original piece of armor, right? So if you had a helmet that you really liked because it had cool horns and like teeth and crap like that, and then you found another one, but it looks really crappy, like it's just a leather looking helmet, you can reskin it to look like that other one since you've already owned that version, right? Like you already own that skin, so it's unlocked forever, right? So I'm thinking that's what they're saying here. Obviously, you can reroll and unlock more skins and things like that. That's kind of what they're going at here. But I believe that's what they're saying with you can overlay your skin you like over the new legendary stuff, right? So if you got something really cool early on in the game, and then you get to the end game and you get a legendary armor set that you just hate the look of, you can overlay it with an older style skin, and it's still going to have those legendary stats and everything like that. It's just going to look like a different set of armor, right? Hopefully that made sense. But if that's what they're doing, that is phenomenal. So July. Okay, so July is when the new advanced class is coming out, the Arcanist. They've announced this a while back. It's kind of been leaked all over YouTube. So it's just another mage class, and she looks pretty dope. I've seen some gameplay tutorial of her. So she's going to be joining the Bard and Sorceress as third available mage advanced class. So she basically plays around her card deck. So when a player lands an attack, it charges the card a meter. Once the meter is completely charged, a card with random stat registers on the card deck, which can be pulled out and used to varying degrees of devastating effect, right? So she seems more damage orientated, kind of a mixture of the two. So the Bard's more of a support, and the Sorceress is more of damage. She kind of looks like she's going to be sitting in the middle of that. Honestly, the card thing kind of reminds me of Twisted Fate from League of Legends, if you have ever played that. And then for the Vault and Raid, they're adding an Infernal Difficulty, which is even harder than hard. So I'm assuming that with the next update, say at the end of July or in August, they'll be adding Inferno Difficulty to this new Legion Raid that'll be dropping in June, right here. So solid stuff. So these are the differences between normal and hard, I guess, or normal, hard, and Inferno. So scale of balance is applied, and the raid requires use of Book of Coordination, so everyone's gear is normalized against the level of your Legion commander opponent. So keep that in mind. The gate progression system will not be active. You can't make it halfway and come back later in the week, so you have to just go through it all on Inferno. Inferno mode will not count against your weekly attempt limit for Legion raids, so you can play Vaulted on normal and hard and Inferno in the same week and try Inferno as many times as you like. So for those of you who don't know, these Legion raids are really tough, and you only get to go through it twice, so you kind of have to get through it. Where this one you can go through as many times as you like, so that's nice. So we got a new challenge for, oh, and then you have to be level 445 for this. Challenge, Abyssal Dungeons. So similar to how the recently released Challenge Guardian Raids applies scale of harmony to equalize your power against your foe, Challenge Abyss Dungeons will use this treatment in a new weekly activity. With greater challenge also comes greater rewards, various honing material, selection pouches. Like Challenge Guardians, you can pick the offering closest to your item level, and this will rotate through the rewards, right? And cards aplenty are available as drops or in the end of dungeon loot auction. So most of you guys who are at the end game know what all this is. And then you can play through each Abyssal Dungeon once per roster each week. So out of your 6 characters, you get to go through this one time. So keep that in mind. And then looking ahead, we are excited to witness the epic battles against Vicus, and seeing which heroes are able to defeat Vulcan in Infernal Difficulty. Stay tuned to our website, social channels, in the release notes for the full list of new islands, new store updates, events, bug fixes, and more. So overall, this is a really, really good roadmap. For those of you who didn't play New World, we never got anything like this for New World. Amazon for New World didn't reveal anything, and it just they would just throw stuff in, and some of the stuff they threw in just wasn't on the updates or anything like that. So whatever team they have working on Lost Ark, I think, is doing a really good job. I've seen a lot of videos recently of people being like, what is Amazon doing? How come they're not releasing all this extremely awesome content? It's because, and honestly, it's because it takes time, right? Like, you can't release an MMORPG with the exact same amount of content as, say, World of Warcraft, right? That just isn't how it works, right? You have to get people into the game, and then once they're into the game, you have to give it enough time for them to get to end game, beat the new content, then you release more content. It's a process of just constantly keeping people involved in the game and keeping them wanting more, right? And so I think they're doing a really good job of at least reaching out and saying, we hear you guys, we know what you want, we understand, here's a roadmap. There will be more update notes coming throughout the month. So I'm assuming we're going to get the June update, within the next couple weeks now. Or not within the next couple weeks, within the first, week or two of June. And then, again, July, we'll get it within the first week or two of July. And we'll be getting some awesome new content. I'm sure around those times is when we'll actually get the full list of patch notes, things like that. So stay tuned when that comes out. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think down below of this roadmap. I think it's really good. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. Really informative, really good. Some of the skin thing is a little weird for me. Like, I think I like it, but we'll have to see when that comes out. But let me know also down below what you think of the video. Like it if you loved it. Dislike it if you didn't. All of it helps. It lets me know what to keep doing, what not to keep doing, things like that. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notification bells if you haven't already. It all absolutely means a ton, guys. It's one small click for you, but it really, really means a ton to me to see that subscriber go up even just one a day. It's super, super nice. I really appreciate your time, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.
I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body in Harvard above me.